everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make an alien shooter game. So I'm going to explain to you how to get these sprites right now. Okay, so now I've explained to you how to make these sprites. I'm just going to choose a backdrop, and that backdrop's going to be Galaxy. The game is going to take some time to make, so I'm trying to do this as quick as possible. So just click on backdrops, go to events, drag out one green flag clicked. Go to control, drag out forever, and go to looks, and then you need to drag out change color effect by 25 and change 25 to 1. So what this will do is it's just going to slowly change its color. So now we're going to drag out another green flag clicked block, then drag out another forever loop in control. Then go to sound and drag out play sound pop until done, except go to sounds and then choose a sound. So now we're going to type in dance space, so this is the sound we want. So this will play the sound in the background. We can delete pop, then go back to code, change pop to dance space, and I'm going to show you what happens. So you see this circle will change and it will play the sound dance space. That's really cool. So now we're going to program the alien shooter. So you see this red sprite over here. You can design it and you can even change how it looks. So just click on that sprite, and now we're going to start writing the code. So the code's going to be quite big for this sprite, but I'm going to explain it. So drag out one green flag clicked, go to variables, and make a new variable, and it's going to be called score. So it's just going to keep track of how many aliens we shoot. So we're going to set score to 0. Now we're going to make a new variable, and it's going to be lives. So again, we're going to make 3 lives. But this time we're going to make it so that if you lose a life, you can even get your lives back. So we're going to set lives to 3. So now we're going to just make it go to the middle. So go to motion and then change that to 0, 0. Okay, so now you're going to drag out point direction 19 and make it point direction 0. So go to control and drag out forever loop. Then drag out another if statement. And then go to sensing and drag out if key left arrow is pressed, so we want to make it rotate. So go to motion and drag out the anti-clockwise block. And then what we're going to do is create a new variable, and it's going to be game speed. So this is how this basically means how fast the game is going to run. I'll explain it to you more later. Now go to operators and drag out the multiply. Then drag out game speed and fit it in one of them. Then make it 3. So what this does is whatever the game speed is, for example, if the game speed is 2, it's gonna rotate 2 times 3 degrees, and 2 times 3 is 6. So it's gonna rotate 6 degrees. So now what you want to do is just right click this and then click duplicate. This just basically duplicates the same block of code. So now change left arrow to right arrow. And go to motion and drag out the clockwise rotation. Now put this inside there, and you can just delete this and then drag this inside here. Okay, so now we're gonna use the WSD keys to move. If you don't know what that means, is if I press W, it's gonna move forward. If I press A, it's gonna move left. If I press S, it's gonna move backwards. And if I press D, it's gonna go right. So what we're going to do is we can just copy paste this again. Now copy paste 4 times. Okay, so now you've copy pasted it 2 times. Change right arrow to this W, then A, then change this to S, then change that to D. So now you can just delete what's inside here. Okay, so now drag out change Y by 5. What this does is just going to make it go up by 5 pixels. Then we're going to change Y by -5. If S is pressed, so that's just going to make it go down. So if A is pressed, we're just going to make it go left. So what we're going to do is make it change x by -5. So that's just going to make it go left. Now you just drag out change x by 10 and change it to 5. So let's see what happens. So now you see it's moving left and right, and you can see you could rotate it. But obviously it's not working right now because the game speed is 0. So what we're going to do is go to variables and drag out set game speed to, and then we're going to go to operators and drag out the divided by sign, which is just forward slash sign, and then drag out plus symbol. Now put it inside here. So now we go to variables, drag out score and fit it in the first slot. So score, and then put 100 here plus 1. So what this is going to do is it's just going to, for example, if your score is 200, it's going to do 200 divided by 100, which is 2, and it's going to add 1 to it. So it's going to be 3. So the game speed is 3. So that's going to make it rotate 9 degrees, and that's also going to affect how fast the alien is. So the code for the alien shooter is not done yet, but now click on the alien, and we're just going to do a bit of code for the alien. So we're going to go and drag out when we'd right clicked as usual. So now go to motion and drag out set rotation style left right. Now we're going to make it point in direction and change 90 to 180. So it's going to be facing down. So now we're going to go to looks and make it hide. So now we go to control and drag out forever loop. Stay in the same section and drag out 1 second. And then go to operators and drag out pick random 1 to 10 and change it 1 to 3. So now we're going to go to control and drag out create clone of myself. So just going to create the same image again. So now we're going to drag out when I start as a clone, because we want it to do something when it's a clone. So we're just going to go to motion and drag out the go to X and Y. Then go to operators and drag out pick random 1 to 10 and fit them in these slots. So we're just going to make it pick a random position. Then it's going to start advancing at the shooter. So now what we're going to do is we change this to -200 to +200. Now we change that to 180 and -180. So we're just going to go to motion and drag out move 10 steps and change that to 300. So 300 steps is enough to walk across the whole screen. So we're going to go to looks and then we're going to make it show. So now we're going to go to motion and we're going to go to change point towards mouse pointer to point towards alien shooter. So we're just going to look. So we're just going to face the alien shooter, and now we're going to make it move forward so it chases the alien shooter. So we go to control and drag out repeat until, and then we're going to go to sensing and drag out touching and change that to alien shooter, because when it's touching the alien shooter we want it to lose a life. So what we're going to do is until it's touching alien shooter, it's going to drag out move 10 steps and go to variables and drag out move game speed steps. For example, if the game speed is 4, then it'll move 4 steps. We're going to make a new sprite in order to complete this code. So just paint, and I'm just going to draw 2 bullets, and we're going to make this alien shooter shoot bullets. Okay guys, so once you do the first bullet, so just click on this the mouse pointer thingy over here. Now just click on copy. And now what you want to do is create a new sprite and then just click paste. So create 2 of the same sprites, except we don't want it to be the same sprite. So you just go to this fill bucket here and change it to color. I'm going to change this to pink. And then you just click on this and boom, it will just turn pink. So you've created 2 bullets. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to start making the red bullet. Okay, so click on the red bullet and then I'm just going to change the sprite name to red bullet, and then change the pink one to pink bullet. Okay, so we're going to make the code for the red bullet now. Go to events, drag out one blue flag, click. Now go to looks, and this we're just going to make it set size to 10, so it's going to be a whole lot smaller so we can actually shoot it. Then we're going to make it hide. Okay, so what we're going to do is drag out another green flag clicked, so it does this at the same time. So we're just going to go to control, drag out forever. So we want to make it fire when the space key is pressed, so we're just going to go to sensing and drag out if key space pressed. Just fit that under there. And then you go to control and drag out create clone of myself. So we're just going to create a clone of multiple bullets. So we're just going to wait until, now go to operators and drag out not. So it will just wait until something is not true. Then go to sensing and drag out key space press. So what it's going to do is it's just going to keep firing until you release the space key. So drag out not key space press. Okay, so now you're going to drag out when I start as a clone, because we want something to happen when it's a clone. So what we're going to do is make it go to motion, and we're going to make it go to alien shooter. So then we're going to make it point in direction, and then go to sensing and drag out backdrop of stage. So first you want to change stage to alien shooter, otherwise it won't work. Then change that to direction of alien shooter. So what it's going to do is you can move the alien shooter left and right, and then when you release it, it will just fire in the direction that it's in. So we're going to go to motion, and we're going to make it move negative 15 steps. So all we're going to do is we're just placing it on this tip over here, so it's going to start firing it. So so I'm just placing it on that tip. So when you make yours, it's going to be quite different. So on mine, it's going to have to do this in order to get its position correct. But if your alien shooter is different, then you got to just keep experimenting on how to make it on the shooter thingy over here. So now we go to looks and drag out show, and then we're just going to go to control and drag out repeat until, go to sensing touching edge. So we're just going to fire until it's touching this edge. I'm just going to move 10 steps. And then we're just going to delete its clone. So the reason why we're just putting it after that is that the code runs in order. So after it's touching the edge, it will just delete the bullet. Alright, so now we've written the code for the red bullet. We're just going to copy, just duplicate it. Alright, so what you want to do is store all this code in your bag, and then you're just going to, so now click on the pink bullet and then drag the code back in. So I'm just going to space it out so you can understand it right now. So if the code is just the same for the pink bullet, it's just going to fire in the same place. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to just change my steps. So you can change the position by just doing some things. It's obviously going to be different to you if your design is different. If you try to make it the same design as me, it's obviously not going to look similar. So you just want to just try random things until it's on this tip over here. So for mine, it's move 30 steps, turn 90 degrees, and move 40 steps for the pink bullet. And yeah, that's it for the pink bullet. So let's see what happens. As you see, we can shoot it, look like this. If it's not shooting near the tip, you just need to change the code for the red bullet a bit. Okay guys, so I've adjusted the bullet so it actually shoots. Okay, so now you need to go back to the aliens code and drag out another if statement. Then we're going to make it drag this out and put it inside the repeat until touching alien shooter loop. So now we're going to go to sensing and we're going to drag out if touching and now we're going to go to operators and drag out an or. So if it's touching one of them, now you're just going to duplicate that, and then what you want to do is just fit it in this slot and then change mouse pointer to red bullet. So if it's touching either of the bullets, it's going to do what's inside the statement. So what it's going to do is just go to sound, and what we're going to do is just start sound pop, so we'll play the sound pop. We're going to go to variables, make it change score by 1, so we're just going to increase the score by 1, and go to control, and then we're going to delete this clone, so delete this version of the alien. So now we're going to go to events and drag out broadcast message 1, change message 1 to click new message and change it to lose a life, so it will broadcast, it will do something when you lose a life. So the reason why we're going to make it lose a life at the bottom of the loop is it's just going to go forward and forward basically forever until it's touching the alien shooter, and then after it's touching the alien shooter it's just going to go down and then it's going to lose a life. So just go to control and drag out, delete this clone, as if it already dies, it's just already gonna delete. So now we're gonna choose a sprite actually, and then we're gonna search ball. But what we're gonna do is make some changes to it. So click on ball, drag out when we've clicked as usual. So we're gonna go to looks and make it hide. So what we're gonna do is if the alien shooter dies, we want to make it do some sort of animation with the ball. So I'm going to show you how it looks like later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to control and drag out repeat 10 and change that to 72. So we're just going to go to motion and make it turn 15 degrees clockwise, change that to 5. And then it's just going to go to control and create clone of myself, as we want to like a huge like pack of balls swirling around the screen when it dies. So as I said before, I'm going to show you how it looks like later. So it's going to create clone of myself. So I forgot to mention, just go to looks and we're just going to make it look a bit smaller. Actually not a bit smaller, a lot smaller actually. I'm going to set size to 5%, so that's going to be like 1/20 of its size it's in right now. Okay, so now we're going to go to events and drag out when I receive lose a life, so we want to do something. So we're going to go into motion and make it go to and change random position to alien shooter. So it's go to looks and we're going to switch costume to, I'm going to show you what the costume is. So if I click costumes over here, okay, so you see this green ball over here. It has an alien effect as it's green, so we're just going to make it switch to that. So we make it switch costume to ball D, and then we're just going to make it show as we've hidden it at the start. Alright guys, so now we're going to go to control and drag out repeats until, and then we're just going to make it touching edge. So it's just going to move 10 steps, so it's just going to keep going until it's touching the edge. Then after touching edge, we're just going to make it hide. So go to looks again and drag out hide. Okay, so now we wrote the code for the ball. Just go to the alien shoot again and drag out when I receive user life. Go to position. Let me just drag in all the blocks that I'll show you. And we're just going to drag out hide. then we're just gonna make it show. So we're just gonna make it go to the middle again. So now let's see what happens. So as you see, it's gonna go to the start and then it will start exploding. So that's really cool. Okay, so we want to improve when I receive lose a life a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go to sound and make it start sound. Okay, so we're gonna choose the sound called Alien Creek 2. So it'll sound like this. Okay, so we're gonna change me out to Alien Creek 2. So we're gonna go to variables, and then now we're gonna make it change lives by -1. Okay, so now we're gonna use an if and else statement. So go to control again and drag that out. So then go to operators and drag out the more than symbol. So go to variables and make it if lives is more than 0. It's go to control, make it wait 1 second. Then it's just gonna show. So just drag this show inside here. So we're gonna go to events and we can drag out broadcast lose a life, except we change lose a life and make it a new message, call it game over. So if the lives are all up, we want it to show like a sign saying game over. Now drag out wait 1 second and then we're gonna stop all. I'm just gonna move this up here so you don't get confused. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a game over sign. So I'm just gonna paint it. Okay, so I made the sign now. So now we're gonna write its code. So drag out when green flag clicked, then go to looks and make it hide because we don't want it to show at the start. And we're just gonna make it go to the middle. So we drag out go to and then change it to 0, 0. So now go to events and drag out when I receive game over. We're gonna go to control and drag out wait 1 second, then it's gonna show. So it's gonna show at the same time it will stop the game. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you what happens. So let's get captured by the aliens first. Okay, so let's just make us die. Alright guys, so it shows when we die. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create like an instruction screen at the start of the game. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a new sprite, and then just I'm just gonna create a screen which tells you how to play. Alright guys, so now I've designed the instruction screen. So now we're gonna go to code and we're gonna start writing the code for that. So drag out when green flag clicked as usual. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hide all these variables at the start of the game, then we're gonna show them. So I'm just gonna hide all the variables here. And then what you're gonna do is create a new variable and you're gonna call it hide instruction. So this will check if the instructions are hiding, then it will start the game. And we're gonna hide it. So now we're gonna go to looks and drag out show, and then we're just gonna make it go into to its coordinates. Now go to control and drag out forever loop, and then now we're gonna make it if key 1 pressed. So as it says here, press 1 to start a game. So if key and then change space to 1 or whatever key you want the player to press. It doesn't have to be 1. So now we're going to go to variables and drag out set game speed to 0 and then change game speed to hide instructions, and we're just going to make it hide instructions to true. So it will just make hide instructions true. And now what we're going to do is you're not going to ever show hide instructions because this variable was only made to keep track of whether the instructions are hiding, then it will start the game. So now we're gonna show all the other variables, and then we're just gonna hide the sprite. Okay, so now let's see what happens. So if we press 1, you'll see it will go into the game. So now what you want to do is you notice the aliens are not moving yet, so we're just going to create the code. So the last point we want to do is if say the alien shooter loses a life, we want this thing to spawn, and if it touches it, it will gain a point, and if it accidentally shoots it, it won't gain a point. And I'm also gonna show you how to make the maximum lives 3. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna paint like a heart sign as like to show it's gonna give you an extra life. Okay, so everyone, I drew the heart, and here's the code of the heart. I'm just gonna briefly explain you. So once the loading screen is over, it's just gonna wait a random seconds, and it's gonna create a clone. And what this does is, if it's touching one of the bullets, the heart will go away. And this over here is, so if lives is more than 3, we're gonna set lives at 3. So what this means is, if your lives is already 3 and collect an extra heart, it's going to go back to 3, as 3 is the maximum amount of lives. And also after you have the instruction screen, what you want to do is, for all your sprites, you just click on any of the sprites, and then you see over here, so you're going to have to go to control and drag out an if, and then place it all around that, and then you're going to have to make it if, drag out equal sign and operators, if hide instructions is equal to true for all of them, then you only want to make it move. And you also have to drag in a forever loop after the if statements. So I'm just going to do it for every sprite. Alright guys, so now we've done the high instruction equals to true thing. So now let's see what happens. So now it moves left and right, and then we can shoot the aliens. So this game will be continued as a part 2 later. So in the part 2, basically we're gonna make the aliens try to shoot us. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and bye.